G'day everybody, Daniel Anderson here. Welcome to another episode, and it's going to be a good one today where we're going to take a look at audience targeting and also the highlighted content web part, kind of part 3 of my series. I've already done part 1 and part 2, but this is going to bring in the audience targeting feature of the highlighted content web part. So let's jump into it. What you can see on the page here is this is the end result that we're going to get to. So I've got audience news that's been targeted at a specific audience. I've got documents that have been targeted at a specific audience, and then I've also got the combination of the two. All right, so let's jump in and have a look at how this is set up. Now, first of all, what we need to do is we need to enable the audience targeting feature on the libraries in question. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the settings of the document library first, and you'll see that there is an audience targeting section here and a link, and we just click this link. Now, by default, this is turned off. So we need to select this enable audience targeting option there. So that's the document library done. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to do the same thing to the pages library. So I'm just going to jump to site contents. I'm going to jump to the settings of the page library, and same thing, we've got audience targeting settings, and we need to enable this audience targeting option here. Now, by doing that, what happens is that it automatically creates or adds this audience column to the libraries that you enable it on. All right, so as you can see here, we've targeted a couple of different news articles at different groups. This one's an Office 365 group, whereas these ones here are actually security groups in Azure AD. All right, so we can use both. So let's take a look at how and where we set that. So first of all, I might just jump into the HR site and we'll create a new news article, and let's just take a look, and we'll do it from scratch. So we'll just use this visual template and targeted at Mark 8 project team. And if we jump into the page details here, you'll notice that we've got this audience option here. So with this option here, we can start typing in Mark 8 project, and that will automatically bring up that Mark 8 project team members. Now, we do have the option to use security groups as well. So in this tenant, the security groups are prefixed with SG-. So you can see here that I've got a number of different security groups that I could target this content at as well. All right. So remembering, audience targeting is not security. So there's a difference there. Everybody still can access the page. It's just the way that things are displayed through a couple of different web parts. All right. So it's not a security feature. So let's just target this at the Mark 8 project team. And you'll notice here that, let's just redo that again, Mark 8. We'll make sure that that saves, and that is now saved, and let's post this news. All right, now it does take a little bit of time for it to pick up and display through the web parts. You'll notice here that this one's done immediately, and the one down underneath hasn't appeared right this second. So now, there's a couple of different web parts that audience targeting is enabled on. That is the news web part and also the highlighted content web part. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm just going to jump into this this web part here. Now, this is the news web part. Okay, so you'll notice that the section here, we've got news from this site. And if we scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that there's a toggle switch on this web part that allows us to enable audience targeting. Okay, and you'll notice that there's only 2 items that are displayed in that web part, whereas in the site pages, what you will have seen is that there's a few news articles in there that are targeted at different groups. All right, this user Megan is not a member of these groups here, so she doesn't see that through that web part. All right, but she still has access to these pages. So remembering it's not security trimmed, I can still access those pages if I need to. All right, now Next thing is the documents. So we enable the audience targeting on the document library as well. Now let's take a look at the contents of that document library. So we'll jump into the document library and you'll notice that there's 2 documents here that have been targeted at the Mark 8 project team. Again, similar thing, we go to the information panel of that document and we've got the audience option here where we can select the audience that we wish to target. Now, if we now jump back to the HR homepage, scroll down, what you will see is that this web part here is the highlighted content web part, all right? Now, in the filtering options here, we've got the selected type of documents. Now, if we scroll down even further, you'll see that I've got this toggle switch set to on, which again, only displays documents that have been targeted at the Mark 8 project team, of which this user is a member of that group or that team, okay? Now, if we scroll down even a little bit further, you'll see that I've got a combination of the 2 here. So you'll see that I've got documents and news articles here, right? So if we jump into the properties of this highlighted content web part, again, this time in this content section of the highlighted content web part, I've got 2 options here. So I've got the type of news and also type documents, okay? And you'll also notice down the bottom here this toggle switch, which I've got as on, and it's displaying only the documents and the news articles that have been targeted at the Mark 8 project team, again, which Megan is a member of. Okay, so it's a really powerful way of getting and creating that personalized experience for the logged in user. They can see anything that's been targeted at them or the groups that they're a member of, and it does really bring that content to the fore and display information that's really relevant to that logged in user. Now, what I want to do now is I want to just jump over to a separate site. So you'll see that this is part of a hub here, but I've also got the Mark 8 project team team site open here. And what we can see on the page here is that we do have the highlighted content web part that's on this page also, completely separate site, not joined to the hub at all. But let's have a look at the properties of this highlighted content web part. So what we'll see here is that we're targeting and we're selecting that HR site in particular. We've got the same types of content that we want to display on this page, news and documents, and we've got the enable audience targeting switched on, okay? So again, really, really powerful. This time we're on a completely separate site, but we're still showing, and that audience targeting is still flowing across into a completely separate SharePoint site collection. Now, if we want to take that a little bit of a step further, we can then jump into Microsoft Teams and we can hit the plus tab, and let's just have a look and see what happens here. So if I then go to SharePoint, I want to hit the home page I want to put the home page of this site. So I'm just going to grab the home page, which should be this one here. And let's take a look and see what that looks like inside of a tab inside Teams, and see if that comes across as well. So what you'll see there, again, audience targeted, page inside Teams, really relevant to that logged in user. I'm in Teams, I've got the targeted content directly as a tab inside Teams now as well. Okay, so the combination of that highlighted content web part and audience targeting really does allow you the ability and the functionality to be able to provide that targeted experience, that relevant experience to your end users. So I really hope that brings you some value, and I will see you in the next episode. Now, again, if you haven't subscribed, SharePointFocus.com, head on over there. Pop your email address in, jump on the list where I'm going to be delivering even more valuable content directly to your inbox every single week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.